to make sure that you have them to help with your oral drill. Okay, we should have our lecture notes in front of us. So I'm going to post the word wall on the Nearpod. Go ahead and take 3 minutes. You're going to write down these terms onto your word wall and review them in your resources. 3 minutes. Go ahead. $90 more seconds to finish the oral drill, or to finish reviewing for the oral drill. $30 more seconds to review these key terms. Awesome, that is time. What is the Homestead Strike, Giovanni?
The Homestead Strike was when the workers of Homestead they went on the strike and it resulted in a gun battle between the strikers and the workers, and I think the workers ended up winning.
Awesome. In the Homestead Strike, they were fighting against working conditions or bad working conditions. What did these bad working conditions look like, Sierra?
They were inhaling like toxic fumes and they were working long hours. They were also in like really cramped areas.
Mhm. What about their pay? What is their pay like, Sierra?
I think they their pay was cut by 20%, so it was really low.
Awesome. Yes. Not only was their pay low, their pay was cut. Who was Andrew Carnegie, Jalasia?
He was one of the, I don't know what they're called, you know, those people who invented all the thingies. Um, what was it? I know that they wanted they protested. I mean they strike. He was like one of his companies was the first one they ever left because of their working conditions.
Yes, it was Carnegie's company that they were striking against in Homestead. What was the purpose of unions? What is the purpose of unions, Skyan?
Um, they wanted to work together to get things like better pay and shorter hours and stuff.
Beautiful. Great. So those are some of the most important key terms that we have to have ready for us as we go through today's lesson. We're actually going to skip the do now and transition to the timeline review. If you go to page 3 of your classwork, there's a Homestead Strike timeline. You're going to have 3 minutes to review this timeline and then respond in this collab board. Why did the Homestead Strike turn violent according to this timeline? So again, you have 3 minutes to review the timeline and then share a response to the question in the collab board. 3 minutes on the clock to get started. Go ahead. Ninety more seconds to review the timeline and respond on the collab board. Okay, that is time. Awesome responses. Go ahead and click submit if you have not had the chance to submit a response to this yet. I know I'm missing a few names on my collab board. It's there. And make sure you go through and heart those responses that you agree with. So according to this timeline, and according to what we know about Homestead Strike, it turns violent. And people die because they are asking for a more fair wage. Today in our documents, we are going to be zooming in on two people that have a unique perspective of what happened during the Homestead Strike. And before we get started, I just want to remind ourselves and reset what our expectations are for POV annotations. When we are looking at an author's POV, we're not just restating what it says in the source line. So if I look at document 1 and see that this was written by a woman named Emma Goldman, I'm not just going to put Emma Goldman in my POV annotation. I want to make sure I highlight the most important biases and perspectives that she would have. Remember, POV is not asking for somebody's name, it's asking for their point of view. So today, while you are annotating, I'm going to be looking specifically for your POV annotations and then since statements using the POV corner. So again, when we're annotating, I'm looking for your POV corners and since statements utilizing that POV corner. And we are going to work together to try to answer this question with more detail. Why did the Homestead Strike turn violent? Okay. Make sure I'm on the right spot. We're going to transition to the very first document, document 1, and you are going to have 5 minutes. Give us a little more time to make sure we're thorough. 6 minutes to thoroughly annotate the document, highlighting the POV corner and the sense and significance statements. About halfway through, I'm going to pause us and ask us to chat out the POV corner, so be prepared for that. 6 minutes to annotate the document. Please chat me if you have any questions. Go ahead and get started. Four minutes and 50 seconds left. We have 4 minutes left and I'm going to pause us there. So I'm pausing my timer. Please chat out the POV corner that you identified for document 1. So 4 minutes left. What did you put down in your POV annotations? It doesn't matter. You can either send it privately or to everybody. Awesome, Shakeem. Awesome, Skyen. Really great taking in of the feedback that I gave earlier for POV corners. You guys are really going into the perspective that this author has. Sierra, can you explain why you came up with POV corner that you did?
Wait, you said me?
Yes.
All right. Well, it said in the source line that hold on. It said that she was a political advocate. I can't pronounce that word. And a radical who fiercely supported the workers' rights.
Mhm. Yes. And Kayla, can you unmute and build on what Sierra said with why you wrote what you did in your POV?
The information that they gave us about her being fiercely in tune with her job made it seem as though she took this one personally because of what she do or what she does.
Awesome. Really thorough POVs. You have 4 minutes to finish annotating the document. Make sure you're answering the significance statement. And when you write your sense statement, you're using the POV. 4 minutes. Go ahead and head back to the documents. You have 2.5 minutes left. I'm now going to open up a place in the Nearpod for you to write your sense statement. So you can go ahead and start typing directly into the Nearpod with your sense statement. Go ahead and head over to the Nearpod to write your sense statement. One more minute to finish your sense statement in the Nearpod. a great start with your open responses, Mela Giovanni. I said your sense statement is good. No, just the nearpod. Mhm. Really great sense statements, you guys. Okay. Awesome. Awesome job, you guys. We are going to head into document 2 now. So same thing, but I'm going to give us 5 minutes this time now that we have some practice. 5 minutes to annotate document 2. Remember, in about 1 minute, I'm going to ask for your POV statement in the chat. 5 minutes, go ahead and get started. You have 3.5 minutes left, but I'm going to pause us. What is your POV corner for document 2? Please submit your POV corner for document 2 into the chat. And remember, we're not just saying Henry Frick's name, we're telling us what his perspective is. Great start, Sierra. Yabi, share the POV corner in the Zoom chat. Awesome, Jalasia, Mela, Leah, Shakeem, Skyan, great POVs. 15 more seconds. Tell me what Frick's point of view is. Thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you, Skyan. Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you, Takia. Thank you, Yabdi. Jalasia, can you unmute and share your point of view corner for Henry Frick?
I said was the manager of the factory near strike. He had a strong hatred for workers and unions, and he hired those, whatever their names are, overnight to ambush the workers that were striking.
Awesome. Okay, you guys have 3.5 minutes left to annotate the document. In 2 minutes, I'm going to open up the Nearpod for you to type the sense statement directly into the Nearpod to save you time. So again, you're going to have 3.5 minutes to finish. In 2 minutes, I'm going to open up the Nearpod so you can type your sense statement directly into the Nearpod. 3.5 minutes, go ahead and get started. So this is correct. Build on this. Why? Like, why would he react to the strike the way that he did? Like, why is he writing about the strike this way? How does it influence the way he's trying to And then, like, why would Frick write this document this way?
So I said, like, because he's trying to like justify, he's trying to justify stemming the violent days and like he was scared of her. So he doesn't look bad. The reason that he died,
Is he reliable? What about Emma Bolton?
like she's biased, like both of them are obviously biased, but I think he's wrong because we know like he's getting paid to do this for one thing, for two, he's like he's the reason it all happened and he knows it.
You have 2.5 minutes left. Go ahead and start typing your sense statement directly into the Nearpod. So again, now you have 2.5 minutes to type your sense statement directly into the Nearpod. Don't start. Wait a second. Let me make sure. "30 more seconds to finish the sense statement into the Nearpod." I have about 56% of us. Thank you guys. Really great consideration of POV in these sense statements. Okay, that is time on the sense statements. According to documents 1 and 2, why did the Homestead Strike turn violent? Please take 1 minute to share your response to this question in the chat. So again, 1 minute in the chat. Why did Homestead turn violent? Yes, in the chat. Why did the Homestead Strike turn violent? Thank you for everybody responding. 10 more seconds to share those responses. Okay, submit whatever you have, even if it's not done. Awesome. What I'm noticing about our responses is that there's a variety of opinions. Why did it turn violent? We're now going to build on this question to help set us up for the exit ticket. We've identified whether and why the Homestead Strike turned violent. Are these sources credible? Are both of these sources credible? Is one credible and the other isn't? Are neither of them? Are both of them? What do you think? And by credible, I mean reliable. Are they giving an accurate depiction of what happened? 1 minute into the Zoom chat, tell me what you think. Are these sources credible? Thank you, Julia, for starting us out. Thank you, Skyanne. So again, are these sources credible? Ten more seconds to share your responses. Okay, go ahead and submit whatever you have, even if it's not done. Cool. Great. Can I hear from Takia, then Yabdi, then Shakim? Are these sources credible?
I said no because one is run by Frick, who could have been putting the blame on the workers, or the other one could have been trying to make it seem as it was worse. And
I said the sources aren't credible because the union could have left it alone, and as a result, no homestead men would have been killed.
I said neither source was credible because one supported workers' rights and the other neglected them.
So according to Takia, Yabdi, and Shakim, neither source is credible. Why? Why aren't they credible? Mela is going to come over here because her mic doesn't work. You can go ahead and raise your hand if you would like to build on whatever Mela says. So it's going to be Mela and then Sierra.
neither source is credible because they both have really strong biases. Frick was involved in it and was the person who was like the reason that those shots were fired. And the lady, I forgot her name. She's a very strong advocate for workers' rights. So she also used really charged diction against the strike breakers, but she didn't use anything like any strong diction at all towards the workers.
Sierra, go ahead and jump in.
I agree, and I would also like to add is that like they weren't like actual workers, so like they weren't there to say like their side of the opinion.
Great. Samaj, can you revoice what you heard, what you've been hearing Mela and Sierra say for us? Samaj, can you revoice what we've heard from Sierra and Mela? Samaj might be having some tech issues, so I will come back to him. Oh, thank you, Samaj, for letting me know. Mahmoud, would you mind revoicing what you've heard from Mela and Sierra? I just want to remind us that we are doing cold call responses in our Zoom engagement grade. So Mahmoud, if there is a tech issue, please let me know. But remember, we can't be opting out during discourse. This is where most of our learning happens. And this is also where we get participation for our Zoom engagement trackers. Dwayne, can you revoice what we've heard from Mela and Sierra? Okay. So thank you, Giovanni. Go ahead. Before you get started, I just want to remind us again, this does affect a Zoom engagement grade, and this is where the learning really happens. So let's make sure that even if we're not sure, we are still trying. So even if you're not sure how to respond to a prompt, that you are still participating. Giovanni, go ahead.
Basically what I heard was that it's the sources are not credible because both of the sources are one-sided because one supports workers' rights and the other one doesn't.
Awesome. Sierra, I want to go back to something that Sierra said before we started revoicing. And she said that neither of these people are workers. What else would we want to hear or see to understand why Homestead turned violent? What kind of other sources would we want to look at? Share out in the Zoom chat. What other historical sources would we want to look at in order to understand how or why Homestead went violent? Go ahead and share in the Zoom chat. Awesome, Jalasia, Shakeem, Skyan, Samaj, some really interesting ideas of what else we could use to build on this. Skyan and Shakeem, would you guys mind explaining why you would want to hear from those sources? Sorry, that wasn't clear. Skyan and then Shakeem, can you please build on what other sources you would want to see?
I said that we should see the actual workers or the guards that were sent because they were the ones who were there, so they will have a better point of view.
I agree. I also said that it would be better to see the strikers who, the workers that were actually striking the company, because then you would have like a mindset of what they were actually thinking when they decided to like start shooting guns around the place.
Awesome. There's clearly some serious things happening in the Homestead Strike, but we're still not sure of what is happening. We're going to go ahead and transition to our exit ticket. Utilize the information that we discussed in our exit ticket. Make sure you claim, explain, and connect, and make sure in your response you evaluate the credibility of the sources. So in your responses, you're telling me why it turned violent and whether or not the sources are credible. You have the remainder of class to write and submit. Make sure it is that full 3 or more sentences, including the credibility. Once you submit both the exit ticket and your classwork packet, you will be free to go. About 4 more minutes to finish up your exit ticket. Okay, looking at some of the responses, make sure you're identifying exactly why these documents are or are not credible. So don't just say they're credible or they're not credible. Tell me why. Shakeem, Mahmoud, Giovanni, you're free to go.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Shh.
I'm trying to save her.
Guys, I'm still in a class. try to take 2 more minutes. Thanks, Sierra. Once you submit your, yep, I just got your class packet. You're good to go, Sierra. Thanks, Jalasia. Once you submit your class packet, you're free to go. And then just get back to me about the hard copies if that's able for that to happen. As you guys are leaving, just a reminder, if you want hard copies of all the APUSH stuff, that's literally like the next month's worth of materials, please let me know and I will make sure you get access to those. Just reach out and we can arrange a time for you guys to pick up the materials. Thank you, Takia. Thank you, Kayla. Once you submit your class packet, you're free to go. Mela, can you, Mela and Yabi, can you guys click turn in on Google Classroom? Okay. Eddie, we're Miss Somerville and I are reaching out to Mom, but thank you for letting us know. About paper copies, we're talking to Mom.
Bye.
Bye, Eddie. Thanks, Kayla. You're free to go. Takia, once you submit your class packet, you're free to go.
I just put like 5 eyelashes Am I going to eyeball? Because that'd be really sad.
Thanks, Leah. Thank you, Samaj. You're free to go. Again, if you want paper copies, please send me an email or a text so I can work with you to make sure you get those copies.
I heard them say hi. Yeah,
Thanks, Skyanne. You're free to go. Dwayne and Shaquasia, just make sure you guys are able to turn in those exit tickets. Skyanne, are you almost done? Sorry, Shaquasia, I know you're multitasking. Shaquasia, if it's easier, have you already started typing? Okay, so go ahead and just finish up, but if you need to like handwrite it and send me a photo of it, that's fine as well, okay? Okay, I want you to do whatever is easier or easier to accomplish. Okay.
I didn't finish it. Like I had like a good like 5 questions left. And they were all short answers. Yeah, that's what you mean.
And Shaquasia, Miss Somerville is working on how to get you the paper copies, but she's on it, okay?
put my hands up to your finger. Put my hands like down my hand. Listen, I've been going through a lot. Don't lose me. Okay, so this is when I cut it, the first time. And then I
Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the Zoom. Skyan, I just sent you a message, but I will send you an email at 3 o'clock to update you on that, okay? Okay, thanks guys so much for your hard work today. You did a really great job. I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully.